the whole lawsuit, and MPS is dragging that lawsuit out endlessly, allows us all to focus on compliance and ignore the bottom issue, which is, why can't you teach me to read? At some point, it may have to be from Washington, we're going to have to do something to get state agencies, in our case DPI, to enforce the content of IEPs in addition to the commas and the semicolons at which they have become quite expert.
I got a question for you, and you gave a lot of really great information. But what do you see as regards to the special education, Title I, those initiatives that are under No Child Left Behind? No Child Left Behind is going to be tossed out, and then this ESEA is going to be reauthorized. How is that going to affect you know, the Milwaukee? I mean, what are the needs for special education and for Title I under the new?
Okay, I can't speak to Title I. I'm not an authority on it. It would all be just anecdotal. I have in the trenches experience with the federal law IDEA, which in some ways isn't quite coterminous with the No Child Left Behind law. So we have to bring those laws sort of into tune with each other. I am saddened, but I understand why changes in services for special ed children don't get done unless we go to Washington and get Washington to change the federal law. Why should we have to go anywhere but our local school? Why should we even have to go to the school board? There is still this long, lingering prejudice against special needs. Particularly, I'm discovering now a prejudice against those special needs that are not readily visible. If a child's in a wheelchair, at least we know he's got an IEP, more than likely. Although, even kids in wheelchairs are not necessarily well handled, well cared for in MPS. I have a case right now where a boy in a wheelchair waiting for his ride to his therapist, they just pushed him outside in the rain and let him sit outside the door in the rain until the bus came. Well, we have so much to do to clean up special education. I really don't know where to begin, but clearly the departure of Bill Andrikopoulos and then the imminent departure of Pat Yaley opens all sorts of avenues for reform. However, in terms of the whole country, most of the advocates for kids with special needs say we got to go to Washington because we may be able to get 3 school districts in our area to serve, but we can't get the others, so we got to go past the school district, past our state agency, all the way to Washington to find people who will enact laws to serve our children. The dilemma with that model, of course, is that things get put in the law, it becomes inflexible, and we end up obeying the law, not teaching children.
Gotcha.
That's a dilemma that I have wrestled with for years and have no answer at this time, but I'll keep wrestling.
Lastly, well, with the IEP, that still trumps everything. The IEP is the most important piece for the
No, that's not true.
Or you're saying that other things trump the IEP?
No. I'm saying that in MPS they ignore the IEP.
Yeah, I got that.
So if you can get it in front of a judge, if you've got the money to hire attorneys, as somebody did in New York for those kids. But in the meanwhile, MPS is almost religiously committed to not obeying the IEP as a district policy. That does not mean that there are not teachers in the classroom who are trying desperately to fulfill the IEP.
Right.
But they're doing it without the resources, and in fact, they are sometimes scolded because they're putting the IEP ahead of some other priority that the school principal or the people at Fleet Street entertain.
Thanks very much for this interview. Appreciate all the rich information you provided.
And you got to turn that thing off somehow.